All right, everybody, welcome back to ESL One Mumbai. We've got TNC versus Navi here. Game number one. You've heard from the panel, and now I want to hear from my co-caster, Danog. What do you make of these two drafts here?
It's hard to say, right? Like, is TNC trying to do something where they're just taking advantage of the tournament meta, right? They've picked 3 heroes so far that have 100% win rate so far. Whereas
what are those heroes?
It's the Bane, the Bat Rider, and the Lycan.
How many games?
Well, granted, Lycan's only played 1.
Okay.
But Bane 3, Bat 2.
Okay.
I think Bat is a very strong hero in this patch. You know, you can run it in a variety of different lanes. You can have a few different setups with it. In this game, they're running it as that position 3. And it's, as Kyle said, I think they're very capable of being this solo lane and just having that constant threat of rotation coming from the 2 supports.
Yeah, I think the big thing for TNC this tournament that we've seen is when Cuckoo has a really good game, they seem to super thrive. And he's also had some games like that Necrophos and the Clockwork, where he just got completely shit out of the game and couldn't really do anything. So do you think the Bat Rider's well positioned this game to have a big impact?
I mean, he's plays a really good Bat Rider, especially, right? Like, even in that position 3 role where you probably just want to be, you know, being a bit more of the initiation, maybe chasing down a couple of supports, he still goes like, you know, 11-2 or something ridiculous like that. Yeah. So carrying very much in his own right, we're probably going to see, you know, a drums build up for him. It means that the Lycan can focus on more of the split push for himself. We can see the headdress already queued up by the Lycan there. So definitely looking to go into that general sustain build.
To me, it seems like TNC have really picked to win these lanes, and I'm interested to see if that ends up working out. Because I think if they win the lanes, then especially with this Lycan pick, they can run over Navi a little bit. Their 2 supports are a bit slow to come online. They both need level 6. But if they don't win the lanes, then I'm a bit worried for TNC.
Yeah, I mean, Bane's probably one of the best heroes at doing that, right? And, you know, Shuriken not the strongest in the actual lane himself, but some blocks coming out.
He's getting punched at the moment. He does have a brain sap. He's getting chased down by Chu.
Yeah. Able to just slide away. And we were actually talking about, you know, what are the drafts... Ooh.
Yeah, this is... Chu's chasing him. He's not quite fast enough, but I think it was 1 or 2 hits and then a zap to get that kill.
So we were talking about, like, what's going to happen in these drafts to make sure that, you know, TNC don't have, like, a game winner, right? They didn't have a game winner until that very last pick. And we were thinking, you know, could it be the anti-mage, but they wisely banned it out. Yeah. So it's just that sort of thing. Like, they don't really have too much catch right now on Navi, but you know, I definitely think the Lycan, very much a worthwhile pick. It synergizes well with their lineup. When Armel is going to be looking to rotate through, you can, you know, use that distraction to split push. You know, hopefully he'll have the Dominator up. Hopefully he'll have the Shapeshift at that time. And
I like the Disruptor pickup quite a bit as well, because you could see that Navi were thinking about it, and they knew that TNC couldn't go for an immobile carry. It had to be something with quite a lot of mobility to play against the Razor, to play against the Darkseer, and they kind of prepared themselves. We got a Firefly popped up top, but Crystallize is going to be just fine, and Cuckoo actually taking quite a bit of damage here. He's got the Fairy Fire to try and keep him alive, and with those stacks of Sticky up on Crystallize, he will just back himself out. Doesn't even have the point in Rage just yet. And Cuckoo's still pressuring him a little bit here. I don't think these creeps are going to be quite enough for level 3. So just needs to retreat back and won't get any of these CS under the tower, unfortunately.
Yeah. Some great confidence coming from Cuckoo, right? Just diving through into that tower range, knowing the tower's not going to hit him, but still just denying a lot from Crystallize.
So both offlaners going for a quick bottle. Blizzy, double stout shield, now grabbing his. Cuckoo also has his queued up at the moment. So pretty similar situation. As far as the mid lane goes, Klopp is actually not doing so hot. Only 4 CS on Armel. Yep. He's forced a lot of regen out as Misha gets brought down. Gets the kill.
No, Cuckoo, yeah, having a little bit too far that time. You know,
all right.
Maybe a bit of tower hits coming.
Didn't have any help. I mean, Tim's is nowhere to be found. He's always just over at the. Over towards the shrine.
Well, that's the downside of having these heroes that do like to rotate through, right? You know, you've got Tim's, who's not always going to be in lane. It's going to be a bit difficult for him to, you know, sustain on this Bat Rider if he is out of position. And but nice little stack here for the Bat on the the Radiant top shrine. But
cute play from AU, also just nightmaring up the Darkseer to prevent the wave steal, but it's so expensive mana-wise to keep doing that. Not really a consistent strategy, and can't be sustaining just fine in the lane. Lycan is one of those heroes that can just farm underneath the tower against the Darkseer, so not a big issue. Though overall, I would say that these lanes a little bit even, or maybe even slightly favoring Navi, which is a bit of a concern if you're TNC.
Yeah, slightly favoring, but you can see the lifesteal. He is half the CS right now that the Lycan has. So Lycan very much having a good game so far, breaking a little bit away on the net worth, but I think the team that's going to be looking to push the tower advantage first and foremost is probably going to be TNC, because that Queen of Pain is going to come online earlier than the Shadow Shaman wards, obviously, so she can make that rotation. Lycan will have his first big item, or he'll have his shapeshift up, and they'll just be able to take something down. Just a simple tier 1, but it's going to create a lot of space to be able to snowball even further.
This mid lane is so bizarre. Up until a second ago, Armel actually had more denies than CS, and neither one of them is close to the top of the last hit chart. So lots of trading happening on that mid lane. I think quite a lot of regen has been purchased up so far. Magical's bought probably 2 or maybe even 3 salves at this point. And now we do have a little bit of pressure being put onto Gabby at bottom. Still quite healthy. Ion Shell burning him down a bit, but he's got all of those Dominator components. He's going to be just fine.
Looking to position themselves around the Bounty Rune. Might be in a bit of trouble here on AU.
He really wants it, and it looks like he will be able to grab at least the one. Actually, Misha coming in to try for a punish, so he gets the Bounty Rune, but I don't know if AU's getting out with his life, and his TP Scroll not quite enough mana either, so looking like it will just be a secondary kill here for Na'Vi. Are they going to hand it over to Blizzy? Oh, they're actually going to hand it over to Magical as he comes over.
Well, that
nice
helps.
efficiency shrine.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not the worst, right? Again, we talk about the amount of value that gets put into space creation. He distracted all of Na'Vi for a solid, what, 45 seconds? And that's just free CS coming for Gabby.
Yeah, and they did manage to grab both of the Bounty Runes over at top, so not a terrible trade, but I do think that kill is very helpful for the Razor. Just every little bit of gold that he can get on this mid lane. He's getting harassed a lot. And his item's still not really progressing. Lots of regen being bought.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's very much similar on Armel, right? He's only got the 2 Null Talismans so far. He's finally picked up his bottle, so he's going to have a bit of sustain for himself. We can see the Bane camping out that bot rune, but it looks like it's spawning top.
Misha holding a bunch of skill points at the moment, just waiting to see. Okay, it does get the 2 points up in the glimpse now. But overall, Na'Vi pretty happy to just keep playing with a bunch of heroes on the bottom side of the map, let the Lifestealer do his thing over at top. This is handing a lot of farm to the Batrider, but I guess we'll just have to see what kind of build are you expecting from Cuckoo this game? Does he get the blink, or are we going to see like the move speed Batrider?
I think move speed. He needs to be a bit more aggressive. I guess the
glimpse is annoying as well if you're playing the blink build.
Exactly, it's annoying, and then you've also got to deal with the Darkseer, right? Like, it's good to
run at the moment. They glimpse him back a little bit. He's going to try just for the TP out, and looks like he's going to be okay.
It's a bit of taunt for himself as well.
Down bottom, actually, they do manage to interrupt the surge here on the Darkseer, so Blizzy in some trouble. Fisher also going to block him in. He's heading for the tree, still fairly tanky, but completely surrounded, and TNC will be able to quickly finish him off. This is a great timing with the Helm of the Dominator, also looking to secure this tier 1 tower.
Even glyphing to make sure that the majority of their creep waves does survive until that next set comes through. But this tower definitely going down. Wouldn't surprise me to see them stay and try and continue to push, just to, again, force the rotations to come through from Na'Vi.
Yeah, I mean, I think Blizzy was going to come back down here no matter what happened, but still pretty nice. They still have the double catapult, so Tim's going to be looking for a little bit more. He does have the Fisher available, and it is going to prompt... Man, this Razor has just been everywhere this game. They do actually have found the Disruptor over on the one side. Lycan, a little bit of danger, but just pops the ultimate to be able to retreat. And Disruptor caught up on the high ground, trying to walk away. Kinetic Field helping to keep him alive, but the Wolves will chase him down, and Gabby securing that kill, evening things up on the scoreboard.
A little bit sneaky there. But they just missed the body block as well on the Darkseer. You know, not able to stop the Lycan from running away. Obviously very, very difficult against a shapeshift.
Yeah, the collision size is pretty hard to do anything about.
Yep.
All right, well, Misha comes in at mid, wants to just scare away Armel a little bit. Quite a lot of damage on this mid tier 1 tower as well. You were calling it out just a couple of minutes ago that TNC definitely going to be making the aggressive moves, and they're here once again. Cuckoo arrives on the mid lane. Misha getting blocked off somewhat, stacked up, and right-click down. Very easy for TNC. They're taking these early aggressive laning heroes and really just running at Na'Vi while their supports have no say in the matter.
This tower is going to drop down as well in mid lane. You've got a creep wave still here, or at least get very, very low. Might be cautious not to make sure it gets denied, but we'll have to see how he chooses to go. Looks like he's going for the full all-in play.
Well, and they find Blizzy out as well. Do they actually have the damage to bring him down? Batrider running over, Fisher block, and the lasso. Enough chain stun. Surge not going to help him, and that is yet another kill for TNC. This is some real signature TNC Dota.
Yeah, and they're even, you know, look at this pressure that they're putting on near this shrine. They're taking the double stack camp that's come up here. So Cuckoo's like, oh, thanks very much. Just accelerates me a little bit more. You can see he's sitting at position 4 on that net worth there.
Oh, and just jumping forward. Magical a little bit too far forward in the lane, and he will be brought down. Misha tried for the deny. It was a nice attempt, but at the moment, Na'Vi just don't really seem to have any play. The Lifestealer's not ready to come and participate. He's just got his Midas up. It's not even 10 minutes in, so Crystallize is still chilling, but his team is struggling elsewhere.
Yeah, against a Lycan, can you afford to go that Midas? I really don't think so. I think it's too slow of an item for this.
I think, to me, the Razor is just having such an atrocious game. His net worth is below the Earthshaker on the TNC side here. He spent so much of his early cash on just buying more regen to sustain the lane, and now he's almost completely shut out of the game, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, he's not able to be that frontliner that Na'Vi likes him to be, right? Like, if you're just going to die constantly every single time to these heavy rotations, then what are you doing in the game?
Well, they're looking for some vision onto AU, potentially. He still wants to battle for the bounty runes, though. They do not have the Fiend's Grip available. He's only level 6. They do immediately infest into the Centaur, trying to keep Misha alive, but they didn't need the Centaur to get that kill.
Absolutely not. But, I mean, what do you think about this? Like, I'm not much of a Queen of Pain player, but not skilling her ultimate at level 8? I mean, you would figure with the amount of aggression that they're trying to get happening that they would want to have a big teamfight ability like the Sonic Wave, right? Like, because the Lycan, you can't just defend with one person against them.
He may have just felt like he doesn't have the mana for it just yet. I think that might be... It could also be one of these situations where you're skilling something up mid-fight. Oh, Armel, oh, they try for him. Not going to happen. We do also have an attempt over at top lane as they go for Chu, and will bring him down easily. Armel actually just running straight towards bottom. They will once again take a quick look at Blizzy, and this gets scouted out here, but so just straight through, and he'll be fine.
Oh, and they've actually got the Purge creep as well on Gabby here. So
nice.
Able to have even more catch on their team. Don't even need to wait for that Flaming Lasso or the Fissure from the Earthshaker.
I really wonder how Na'Vi are going to stabilize this. They do have level 6 on the Disruptor, so decent team fight there. Shadow Shaman's getting close. Do you think that they try and group up at that point and utilize the ultimates of the two supports, or do they have to keep playing on the back foot for now?
They can't play on the back foot. They need to take this aggressive, you know, line. You know, the Bat Rider, he's used his lasso, right? It's down for 50 seconds. You've got the Shadow Shaman ult. You've got the Disruptor ult. Now's the time to make a play, because you're not going to have the fear of reprisal coming through from TNC, or at least not nearly as much as when those two key abilities are still available.
Yeah, this is a good window. You're 100% right with the lasso and the shapeshift down. I don't think TNC are really looking for a fight, but at the moment, Cuckoo just chasing down Blizzy is going to have the surge back up soon, but takes a lot of damage.
He's got those boots that travel, so he is rocket fast.
Yeah, he's
combined
really...
with the windlace as well.
Yeah. And he's also going to be able to like split push the lanes pretty effectively with this. So Na'Vi even further, that circle keeps closing in on their side of the map.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just it feels like they're really being choked off. The ward situation from Na'Vi actually isn't that bad. They've got good vision throughout the entire map. One in the mid lane, one towards top, and two in the bottom side.
Now TNC, with their abilities back up, are going to be going for a smoke. They've got a Fiend's Grip that they're keen to use. They've also got the Echo Slam available for Tims, though it is only the 1 point in the Aftershock at the moment. And they see Crystallize over at mid.
He's on his own.
But they're sizing it up, they're thinking about it. Bottom lane is getting pushed at the same time. Na'Vi just looking to take a tier 1 for a tier 1. And looks like that's all we're going to end up having.
Well, they could rotate through this top lane. You know, you've got the creep wave, a couple of creeps still alive. You've got the Lycan sitting right there. Granted, it is a purge creep, so it's not going to be doing too much, but you've got the Necro block up online as well.
And Na'Vi don't push particularly quickly. I mean, they do have the Mass Serpent Ward still, so once they pop that, that's going to help.
Down it should go. Oh, waiting for the glyph.
Oh, did he just trap this Hellbear?
Yeah.
I think he's... Oh, no, okay, they cut him out. Magical goes in with the Tangos just to release the Hellbear. They are going to glimpse away Cuckoo, but he's got 2 different TPs. So he used his Boots of Travel to get bottom, but he's still got the Town Portal Scroll. They got to remember that. He's actually coming in now. Misha's trying to camp over at the Shrine, but they found him. Armel just right-clicking him down. Chu does just TP out, and they will bring down the Disruptor at the end of the day. But
Man, Misha just gave up hope there. He was just standing right there, trying to right-click against
Cuckoo's up top. They're looking towards Crystallize. They do have the lasso as he tries to pop the Rage. Does have the Infest available, but he's hopped into the... All right, he's hopped into the Lycan Creep and immediately just takes it over.
Yeah.
So he's going to be okay. That is the lasso forced out. Fairly nice for Na'Vi. Crystallize deciding, well, maybe not deciding against the Radiance, but does want the armlet first. I think wants to be ready to fight a little bit more with this
Just
team.
something, right?
Yeah.
Right now he's got nothing.
They haven't taken a single team fight really just yet, and we're just Disruptor ulti has still done nothing so far for Na'Vi.
Absolutely. I mean, the danger as well, it doesn't look like they're building into it just yet, but if they went the earlier BKBs on TNC, then, you know, the effectiveness of that Disruptor ulti is just nullified entirely.
So talk to me a little bit about TNC's builds. One, do you like the Orchid on the Queen of Pain? I know that Kyle on the panel was pointing out that, hey, maybe you just tank up a little bit more this game. Maybe we see a Veil, maybe we see some Greaves or something. And where do you think the Batrider's build goes after the BOTs?
I mean, I don't mind this aggressive build, right? Because they've got the early game advantage. They've got the map control. And particularly, it feels like they're really well connected as a team. So AU is going to be there to save you.
We might have a battle breaking out here for these 15-minute bounty runes. Crystallize runs straight up onto the high ground. Needs to be a little bit careful. Don't have the Orchid just yet. They are going to throw the Fiend Script out, but immediately gets canceled by the Glimpse. So Crystallize still quite healthy. Gets the Midas out. Cuckoo TPing his way in. Fisher blocking up the fight nicely, but Crystallize still finds a way through, and it looks like both teams just going to walk away. A couple of bouncy runes being traded.
Just for now. Just thinking, you know what? We're gonna relax. We're not.
They don't want to run up that hill into the shrine.
Yeah,
right? That's just a silly place. Where we're in a situation where it's probably like there's probably you might think that there's a few buybacks available at this point, and if you charge up onto that shrine and kill somebody, that person on TNC is just gonna buy back instantly.
Yeah,
and you're gonna lose the fight. So at this stage, TNC still just out farming them, getting their pushing items. They've got the Necrobook level 3 at this stage. Shapeshift coming back off cooldown in a couple of seconds. I think Gabby would actually be very interested in finding a kill into a quick tower push while these Necrobooks are still up.
Yeah, and they're just patrolling around the enemy jungle as well, right? Getting rid of a lot of these wards that Na'Vi put up. Granted, it was only a sentry, but, you know, just, again, choking away a lot of the space that they have.
How's poor Razor still super struggling. Magical bottom half of the net worth in this situation. TNC, they knowingly gave away this Razor in the draft.
Yep.
Na'Vi took it super early, and it seems like TNC have responded fantastically with pretty much just the Quap pick, to be honest. It seems like Armel really very comfortable with that matchup, and they do actually find themselves a little bit of a lasso over at top. Chu getting caught out, thought that everybody might have been in the Roshan pit, but it's Cuckoo who finds that kill.
He's doing it. He's having that really high level of impact. You know, he's 2-1-2. Granted, it hasn't been the highest kill game overall, but still, look at his net worth. He's ahead of the Darkseer.
Oh, Crystallize, he wants this tier 1, does tier 2 tower down at bottom. It gets denied in front of him by AU. Is Misha going to be able to get him out of here? The Echo Slam comes in, and it's just too much burst damage. Misha can't even help. He's just running for dear life at this point. Doesn't even have a TP scroll, actually.
You can see this Disruptor as well.
Yeah, they see him on that that Observer ward down there, but TNC maybe bigger fish to fry, gonna smoke up and go and look for a Fiend Script, perhaps.
Yeah, and they're actively avoiding the way that the Disruptor went as well. Not wanting it to be broken for a position 5. They've got this really nice deep Observer ward here, so they know where all of the enemy heroes are. And Magical.
Poor Magical. He's had such a rough game so far. Gets found out once again. He's going to run away from the Shrine. The Shrine is not going to save him in this situation. Disruptor's TPing in, trying to help, but they've already lost so much life on this Razor, and they will just end up canceling the Disruptor TP at the end of the day. Na'Vi are getting... There are these circles run around them this game.
Maybe feeling a little bit too confident from their series against Complexity, but TNC, they really show up on lane. You know, it's really great to see.
And if this is, we've been talking about Na'Vi a little bit being a team missing their captain. This to me feels like a lineup and a playstyle from TNC that is so difficult to deal with if you're not a regimented, like super cohesive 5-man team.
Yep.
Because you're just getting punished so hard. You have to make these really crucial early game decisions about using your ultimates at this time. They are smoking up now. Heading outside of the base, this is a dangerous high ground. Crystallizes, smoke has already been broken. Cuckoo breaks everything with his invis, and Tims splits them up. Magical's on the high ground, but the rest of the team trapped in the low ground. He's going to try and survive with the Shrine until his team can get back up here. They drop the Serpent Wards down, but they're on the low ground. It's not really doing that much. Now Gabby finds his opportunity. The charge into the backlines. Choose dead. Misha also going to be brought down. Triple kill for Armel. How many more can he get? Lasso now onto Crystallize. It won't quite be a rampage. AU getting in there, but the GG already being called.
19-minute GG being called. I mean, that game was not going any other way. It was an 11k net worth lead. Poor Magical, you know, having a rough laning stage. Really, really rough laning stage. And then just even in that last team fight, right? It kind of reminded me of like, you know when you were younger and you went to like the supermarket with your mum, and then she's like, oh, I just got to get one more item. And you're left at the checkout counter, and you're like, Mom, where are you?
Oh, right. Yeah, Magical on the high guys.
Hello? You know, he
please.
tried to use the Shrine, but it just wasn't enough. He was just so far behind that he wasn't able to recover, and TNC really strong showing in this first game of the Decider.
It's so interesting because they gave away the Razor, and to me, that's where everything falls into place for TNC. Is Razor's been getting banned so much at this event. It's been getting banned so much and contested so much since MDL.
Yep.
And they willingly let it through. They say, look, we're more afraid of your Enigma. We're more afraid of your Nyx Assassin. We're going to let you have the Razor, and then we're just going to completely pummel it into the dirt.
I mean, yeah, TNC is a team, they always ban the Enigma, so it's great to have that hero that you never have to worry about, right? Like, you can never be turned around on, and you know, we can see the 100% win rate continues for those three key heroes.
And they're, you know, they've been playing, they always play fantastically in the lanes, right? TNC, sometimes let down a little bit by the draft, but I would say that the mechanical skill and the laning is always just, always so fantastic.
Yeah, well, this is the, left alone at the checkout counter, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. He had a pretty rough game. But you've heard from us. We know what we have to say about TNC versus Navi. It was a super fast game. Looks like our panel's ready to rock and roll, so we're going to head back to them.
Indeed, thank you very much, gents. Very convincing victory in what I think is the fastest game so far here at ESL One Mumbai. Under 20 minutes, in fact, slightly just under 19 minutes. Kyle, we were talking about going for dinner, weren't we?
I did, actually. I went for a quick lunch.
And it was a very quick lunch in the end.
I got to, there's like an elevator boss here. It stopped like 8 times on the way down. I get to the green room, like, wait, no one's here. Wait. Game's over. And had to sprint. But we're back. So,
we're good.
This, it's just the timing, right?
Yeah.
Batrider with this Windlace drums bots build.
You caught it.
It's stupid. It is stupid how fast you run. The Quap has the ability to snowball because you're taking all these towers, and like in, Hydra D Necro 3, go time.
I mean, TNC have learned from this game yesterday. This is, I mean, it wasn't exactly the same, but it had some similarities to the Complexity game that they lost. And they lost that one pretty quick as well, if I remember.
Indeed. And I think it also speaks a bit to the Navi Cole series, where Navi got away with this lineup that maybe they shouldn't have had Cole been less. TNC did a great job of punishing Navi and just out-resourcing them around the map, tightening the noose, and then one fight. GG.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, Lycan's just, I've been very bullish on Lycan lately. I feel like this hero is just kind of insane in what he offers to you when it comes to objective taking. We saw it from the match in Team, where they had that super long game, went like 70 minutes or whatever.
Eternal Levy making several mistakes.
And be like
getting
ratting out, and all that sort of deal. So this combination of this very, I feel like, straightforward, very powerful objective taker combined with a strong laning phase for Cuckoo, where he's able to then transition from that and move with his supports around the map. TNC looked like they had a purpose.
Yep.
TNC in their previous series, where they're drafting Cuckoo like clockwork, and they're making Tim's Earthshaker go to the off lane because the clockwork doesn't have a game, and he's trying to like rotate on mid and like gank the Beastmaster and stuff like against Team. It just, they had no purpose in that game whatsoever. So this is a draft that looks like it really just enables them.
Yeah, have they gone back to basics in many ways?
Yeah, I think so.
Stick with what we know, stop trying to be cleverer than we are.
Yeah, I think so. The combination of just being able to have strong initiation, some pretty decent team fight, but also just being able to have that clear objective taker, I think means a lot for TNC.
To that point, all 3 heroes on TNC, specifically the cores, they can all rotate to other lanes and influence them. The linking of them together will will create action. None of the cores on Na'Vi can do that. Right. So it's their success is predicated on being able to stall out the early mid game, stabilize, trade towers, get the core items online, and force team fights. TNC don't need to do this. Their supports are super active, and it's Na'Vi. It's like you need your supports to actually have a ton of levels before they can make things happen, and they need their cores to be online to protect them. TNC, you don't have these limitations. You just do stuff, and
it's also a defeat for Razor, which it's been 100% picked and banned all the way through, and
really?
Yeah, and I just wonder now whether people just go, oh, maybe it's not as strong.
It is definitely not first pick overall strong.
No.
It's also I think part of it is the way that they did draft it, in the fact that they locked themselves in on 2 cores.
Yeah, the Razor Darkseer.
I was still okay with the Darkseer because we had problems with the fact that they're picking up Quap and stuff, and we're saying like how this Darkseer is going to work up well against this matchup. When they leave themselves 1 core to go through for the next 3 picks, and then on top of that, that core feels like almost a hero that you have in mind from the get-go.
Yeah.
When you pick that Darkseer, right? Like, okay, these are my 3 cores that I'm going for in the very first 2 picks. Like, it doesn't leave you a whole lot of leeway when something gets thrown your way, like the Lycan.
And in addition, it was the exact opener they used in Game 2 against Complexity. Razor into Darkseer as first pick. I hate that. I hate that. Every time Bulba does it, I tell him, I hate this. Don't do it again, stop picking Terrorblade, and then he does it anyway, and they get 3rd place, which is fine, I never got that far. But still, you gotta change it up. Like, TNC is sitting there watching you play. You think they're not prepared for your opener? Like, you're gonna do the same one? It just seems easy to expose, and you're coming in blind, not knowing what TNC's gonna do. They just watched you play the same game. They just watched you play the identical game. You got the roster. The only change is you have Wraith King for Lifestealer, fills the same role, and Disruptor replaced the Wyvern. You limit your team fight, your defensive capabilities, and TNC's like, all right, well, we're going to run you over then.
Yeah, fastest game of ESL One Mumbai so far, 19 minutes and 1 second. It's not what we're used to.
I'm glad it was more than 17, though, because I would have possibly missed this broadcast.
Our poor casters would have just been sitting there just going like, so...
Welcome back to ESL One. Let me just finish my chicken. Yes, we had a shorter lunch, it must be said. We hope you're enjoying the show and enjoying your lunch, though. We are headed to a break of our own here in Mumbai now, as we head towards the 2nd game. And plenty for Na'Vi to think about during that break. We'll see you soon.
Trying until this team can get back up here. They drop the circle wards down, but they're on the low ground. It's not really doing that much. Now Gabby finds his opportunity to charge into the backlines. Choose dead. Misha also going to be brought down. Triple kill for Armel. How many more can he get? Lasso now on to